You want results, but your back end is messy. You want freedom, but your systems are run by your emotion. That's not power. That's dysfunction with a good camera angle. Listen, G. Do you really want power? Do you? I think that's the real question. You have to ask yourself that every single day. Do I want the power that I have within me to be exerted and exuded into the world that I'm living? Listen, while life is mental, we've spoken about this before. Mentalism is a thing. You are living through laws, the universal laws. So if the universal law states that mentalism is the reason why your realm exists, why everything in your world exists currently, because it all came from your mind, which is why we always give you the breakdown of what? Thoughts, emotions, actions, reality. You see the byproduct that you want. You know the end goal. You see your northern star because it looks different for everybody. Mine is high luxury. Yours is flying across the world and eating every food on every other continent. Others is living at a homestead in the middle of nowhere because they want to be away from people. Whatever that looks like for you, you must accept it as your northern star, but understand that there are checkpoints and systems that you must follow to get there. You can't live your life thinking that your power comes from expressing your emotions. Like we discussed about in yesterday's video, your emotions should not run you. They should be observed and brought into your pressurized system that is under law to give you what the messenger, which was your emotion, is trying to tell you. So your first point, power requires structure. Power requires structure. They go hand in hand. Your desires that you have without the infrastructure to get there is just a fantasy. It's gonna live in your brain forever. That northern star that we talked about a second ago is just gonna live in your brain forever. You're never gonna get there. If you're going off of your feelings every single day, and your power is not then put through a system that gives you outcomes every single day, you're going to have the thought in your brain, but there's going to be no connection because that feeling, like we said, thought, emotions, actions, reality, that gap between your thought and action is ruled by emotion. And that emotion is going to sway you. You're not going to be consistent. So you never get to doing a certain action over and over and over. And what I just explained to you is a system, is a structure that your power then will come from. Thoughts, emotions, actions, reality. And then you're going to look around and say like, why the fuck is nothing materializing in my life? And you might be running through a chaotic system because it's broken. If your systems are based off emotions, you are going to be inconsistent. And that means your results are going to be inconsistent. Because think about it. If you say, we're going to make this really, really simple because you already understand what I'm trying to say. If this is your end goal, right? Your fucking end goal, your northern star, your goal. Let's put that as a goal. We're going to put it over here. So make sure you focused up here and I'll let it focus in a second. So if you're down here, this is you. Right? And you're got your eyes over there on your goal. You must know that there's systems that you must do every single that will give you a platform. And then the next one's going to be a little higher. So you might need to adjust your systems to get a little higher. Right? Then you're going to meet another one to get a little higher. Then you're going to get another one to get a little higher. Another one, get a little higher. Get on, get a little higher. And now you've gotten to your goal because of every single system was executed through structure and not emotions, not feelings, because you could get here, you'll get through that, great. You get through that, great. You get here though, and now it's filled with la emotions. They're just all over the place, taking you wherever. So now you start focusing over here, you start focusing over here, you start focusing over here. You don't even know what the fuck your goal is anymore because you've allowed your emotions to corrupt your system. This here, my friends, is the way to your goal. Following a systematic way of doing things to get to a goal without emotions. Your emotions will clog your system and your system will jam and your life will look very stagnant if you don't get over it very quickly. You're living in chaos. So chaos is your default. So structure must be built. Chaos is your default. Structure must be built. You have no option, I promise you. There is one way to get to your goal, and that is by having systems and structures in place. And that is law. There is no thinking one day you can bypass this because you don't feel good. Oh, something happened and I have to detour. Oh, I can't go over here because I'm just not feeling it today. That's not how this works. People get to their goals because they introduce boredom to their system and they stick to it. And what do I mean? Every single day you're doing the same thing to get the same outcome, which means that every single day you're going to the gym, you're doing your meditations, you're doing your rituals, you're executing on cash flow, which is hard because you need to holler at people, run ads, and understand how the intellect on the internet works so that you can garnish that. Or you're looking for clients. All of these things require motion, action to get you a result. So you're doing that over and over and over. And yes, you may start to get an outcome that is, yes, positive, but you do that for a long enough while, you're going to realize, like I said, you're going to realize that that system worked for this step. So you were nowhere to begin with. Then you introduce yourself to a system, a structured system with no emotion. So you got on this rung. But then you realize to get to the next step, you had to take a slight leap, which is just usually lifting your feet, which equates to you changing something about your system. So maybe you automate it, maybe you delegate your time to somebody else, maybe you introduce yourself to a new way of work, right? Something has to change for you to elevate, which means that you're gonna break your old structure to improve it. And sometimes you hear me all the time talk about your life must be destroyed. Your reality that you're living right now must be destroyed for you to ascend to your next checkpoint. That's a real thing. The system that got you to where you are is not going to be the system that gets you to where you want to be in the end goal. You must get your understanding that and get over the emotions that come with the destruction. Because the destruction is just looking at your system, seeing that, okay, this works very good. And if I can keep it and delegate it, great, I'm gonna do that. But maybe you have an emotional survival template to this system because it got me out of the 9 to 5. But now it's time to scale to a 6-7 figure business and I need to learn how to delegate, but I'm still emotionally connected to that system. It's going to be hard for me to sever that tether to that system. But you have to get over the emotion and understand you must do what it takes to get to the end goal. And sometimes that means destruction of an emotional tether or of that system completely. Because your chaos tells you that the system that you have that gives you your current reality is the only one that works. And so you stick with it because you've gotten used to it. And like I said before, if there's a gap between your thought and your action and your emotions are running rampant on this checkpoint you see here, you're not going to get to the next step. You're not even going to be able to sustain this because it's chaos. And if you are sustaining it, your life is chaotic. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel good about the people around you. You certainly probably aren't eating good. You aren't going to the gym all the time at a consistent basis. So you're very inconsistent with the results, which is why your life is very chaotic. Which means you need to take a second and breathe and understand that there's only one structure that works. Your thoughts, emotions, actions into your reality. Which means the cleaner that is, the cleaner your results are going to be. The cleaner your results are going to be, the better your life is going to be. Maybe not in the front end because you were working off of chaos as the default and it needs to be destroyed for you to enter a powerhouse system and structure that is run and governed by law and executed by your masculine energy, which is discipline. You got this, but you got to get over that default, which is chaos. The next point, weak back end equals no conversions. What does that mean for you? Hey, it's all up to the way that you're running your system and the outcomes that you're looking to get, which is the goal, right? They're going to lead up to you getting to the goal or lead up to you getting to your next checkpoint. Whatever you are doing to get an outcome, you must understand that if you have no back end to support what you're looking to get out, you're gonna get no conversion. Think about it. We all put on this show, and I talk about this a lot on Twitter or X, and I speak about this on Instagram stories a lot. A lot of us have this power within us, an abundant mindset, a powerhouse, super heavyweight type of mental situation going on upstairs in our brains, right? We got that thought process on par, on T. We good to go. We ready to execute. But then you have all this power. So now you're a heat-seeking missile with no direction. You have nowhere to put all that energy, right? And all that means is that you have no back end. You have no way to filter out that energy. Some of it needs to be delegated to working out. Some people have their mental on par. They're reading every day. They're journaling. They're doing. And this is where. Can I take 2 seconds? Can I talk to y'all real quick? This is where that spiritual shit starts to hinder and fuck up because they have all of the power in your mind. You have the power within your body. You have the energy to execute on so much. And therefore, you then start to channel it by doing rituals, meditating in a fucking calm, whatever, in a calm environment to exude your energy. But it stops there because you have no back-end system to then give you the conversion or the output that you're looking to gain. So you got all this energy. A lot of y'all got all this energy. I meet some of these people that are spiritually aligned and all of these things. And they're in good spots energetically, but they have no outcomes. Zero. Nothing tangible. Their life is a bit in this dull area. And I think this is where people fall off the fucking grid, because they start to think that I'm getting nowhere by this spiritual shit, but I feel powerful as fuck. And so they get confused. And so it turns into nihilism. Now it's nothing matters. Fuck, I'm so powerful. I'm not even existing in this realm and XYZ. Let me tell you something. The reason why you feel like you don't exist and you feel like there's nothing coming through for you is because you have no back-end systems. You have no structure. And if you're a man, you have all this fucking power within you, but you're fucking confused because you have dysfunction in your system and structures. Your back end is not strong enough to hold the power that you have within you. We have abundant amount of power. Everything that you could ever want in this fucking realm exists within you, and you have the power to create it. But if you have no system structured strong enough in law to execute with that power that's within you, you're going to crumble, bro. And even when you start to get a little gains, you start to, ooh, I feel good. You might even get to the second rung, the second checkpoint, the next level. But then you allow this fucking emotional energy to enter a structure, whether it be someone dies, someone goes to the hospital, your girlfriend is giving you problems, your job is fucking you up, right? Whether it's outside the system or in the system, some part of your work is starting to get to your brain. You got self-doubt problems because you're still human. Like we said yesterday, your emotions are going to come to you and you're allowed to feel them. You should feel them. You should let them channel and go through your body, but observe them and put them through a strong structure. Some of y'all structures are so fucked up that they're so penetrable that they start to leak. You're not containing. You're not using that masculine discipline to understand that, yes, this may be boring. Yes, I have all this power and I found this new system, right? But I'm not executing because my system and structure is too weak to handle the power that I'm bringing forward. Take a second and understand that you can't scale chaos. If your default is still chaos, you can't scale that because you have a weak backend. And your backend is just your structure and your system. And I was telling a buddy the other day, short, quick story time. I'm talking to my buddy the other day, right? And I'm telling him, I said, yo, the reason why so many entrepreneurs, people of or that quote unquote have structure or want to become the top of their field because they get the goal that they're looking for is because that they're looking to get the abundance, like we said in a couple videos back, they're looking to get the abundance without making sure that when the abundance comes, they can handle that shit. Because I want to ask you right now, and this is you and me personally, if you were to get everything that the abundance you have within you has for you, if it dropped on your lap right now, do you know exactly what you would do with it so that you could have it for the rest of your life? If the answer is no, there is a fucking problem in your structure and you have a weak backend, and it is time to destroy that and allow the destruction of your life, the layers to fall off, the peeling back of the veil of the illusion that you have on your life right now, and build from scratch so that you can then take all this fucking abundance that you got, all your rituals, all your commands, all your decrees, and follow through with them with your masculine energy, which is just discipline. Your back end is weak, G. You gotta ante up. Because if your back end is broken, your business is too. It just is what it is. So stop chasing content and start commanding. And that's, again, I'll implore you, join Objective U, because it's there to destroy confusion and bring in clarity and law. And so if that piece is resonating with you, click that link in the description, subscribe, like, and comment. Next point, masculine power is systemic. This is pretty much what it is. Power is systemic. Men who win repeat daily rituals, not daily feelings. Again, and I'm going to enforce this into your brain every video, every chance I get. Thoughts, emotions, actions, reality. If you are a masculine man and you want to have the discipline, because it's in you. If you're a man, you have discipline. That is what our basic form of existence is dependent on. So if you're not disciplined to yourself, then you're not executing on the raw materials that you were given. So your raw material needs to be in a system and executed by discipline. That's just what your energy is, your masculine energy is. It's discipline and frame. How well can you hold frame and hold structure when the world around you is pressuring, putting the pressure onto you? Because as a man, you should already know that you're going to go through hardship all the time. You're going to. You are the foundation. You are the fucking bedrock to the family that can live on top of you and make sure that nothing cracks your foundation. I don't understand why you think that you could then handle the abundance if you can't even get your house in order. And if you can't get your house in order, that means you can't get yourself in order. And if you can't get yourself in order, then the shit just goes backwards again. Because listen, you are the key to the structure that your abundance sits upon. So if you can't even use the structure or build the structure for yourself, then you can't do it for your family. And then that certainly means that the blessings that are supposed to come for you and your family can never come because, hey, you're building off of emotion. We speak about it a lot when it comes to executing as a man and having your discipline within law. I understand. I get it. Life happens. And we've also spoke about how you've grown up. But now let's take it a step further, man to man. I have a child, and I'm assuming you want one too, because you want to give this discipline and this hard work that you've worked on your entire life, and this wisdom that you're gaining, and the traction that you're gaining towards the goal, and even the maintenance of your abundance. I'm assuming that when you die, you don't want your hard work to just fail and go in the dirt. You want to pass it on to an offspring. I would hope that's what you want. But I think even let's take it a step further. The comforts that, and I posted this on the community tab today. The comfort that you have, you don't want to give it up. You don't. Because then you would realize that having children would only amplify your ability to execute on the disciplines of the law that you have within you and the structures that you need to upkeep. But because you've gotten so used to the chaos as your default and the feelings of doing whatever you feel every day, and the inconsistencies of your wins and the blessings that are within you, that if you had the child, that all of that structure that you used to function on would have to go to the wayside, because now you have a set of eyeballs to watch your every move and keep you accountable. Talking to y'all or not? If you don't have a community of men to keep you accountable, you don't have the society structure is fucked. So they're not keeping you accountable. Why would you have a child? Because now they certainly will keep you accountable, because now you know that if your child then executes the same bullshit that you've been living by, you are at fault. Which means that every single day that you are with that child, you better be on your P's and Q's to make sure your structure is up to par to withstand the power that you feel and want to give to that child. So you don't want that accountability. You don't want those eyeballs. You don't want that law, because law is going to show you. Your child is going to show and reflect to you the same bullshit that you've been running from. So a lot of you don't want to give that up just yet. You want to still fuck around in it a little longer, not take on responsibility. Oof, let's not bring up responsibility and accountability. And so you run. And so therefore, the power that you're looking for is not going to go through a pressurized system of law, because you don't have discipline and you're running from responsibility and you have no accountability because society's not going to give it to you. You don't want to have a child just yet, and you're going to blame it on every other external factor that there is instead of just answering yourself. Because it's not about, oh, we don't have the finances. It's not about, oh, this is not the right time to have children. Oh, it's none of that. Bro, it's none of that. It's all about where you sit on your journey towards getting to your goal. And as you get to your goal, again, we spoke about this before, your physical and spiritual realm they mimic each other. So as you go towards your goal and execute on better habits and follow a structurized system that is kept in line by law and executed daily by discipline, your masculine energy, you are executing in the spiritual realm as well. So a lot of you you run from it because you realize how much energy it takes to get rid of all of these comforts that you've diluted your life with. Look at your life. Is it that you really want this goal? Because a lot of you say you want it, but you're not walking the walk. You got to talk. And I promise you, the divine does not like talkers, bro. It does not like talkers, bro. No, look at your life. Look at your life. Assess your life. Break it down, piece by piece. Are you willing to deal with the stripping of the comforts to get the abundance that lives within you by executing a boring system through law and discipline? Ask yourself that. If you've made it this far, I'm gonna give you a fucking bonus. Business, content, clients all require infrastructure. Every client you want, all the content that you want to make for yourself, all of the things that you want to showcase to people, your gifts, talents, skills, you need the infrastructure. You need the ability to handle business, clients, and content. That's really all that matters right now. Getting out of this matrix, you're 9 to 5. You don't fucking deserve to be there. And if you haven't learned the lessons that you need to learn, you're probably gonna stay there. And if you're not willing to open up your mind to information that others have gone through to get you out of where you are right now, then you deserve to be there. So maybe I take that back. You deserve to be there. But those of you who are looking for the escape route, you must understand, once you get out of that 9 to 5, the only thing that matters is business, content, and clients. That's it. Your life is going to be great because now you can execute on the things that you were brought here to execute on because you've accepted that the system that you're living in is not for you. You must build a new one because the only thing that monetizes your skills and your creative ability is systems. I promise you. You want to make a content agency? You want to make a personal brand? You want to be a person who can take their skills and monetize them? You need structure, hardcore structure. Because when you jump into the world of now you're in a boat by yourself, living in this big ass ocean against cruise ships, against warships, against people with teams, against other men of law who are looking to destroy you, and you're just in a fucking paddle boat, you're gonna need structure so that when all of the hardships of life come to press onto your structure, because life, let me tell you a little bit, because if you've gotten this far, you probably understand the place that I'm coming from and the law that I speak about. The laws of life are going to show you who you are. They're going to test you. They're going to strip you of every falsehood that you lie to yourself every day when you look in the mirror of. And when you get out of this system that doesn't work to you, your 9 to 5, or whatever life that you're living in, you're trying to jump into a new timeline. That pressure that you're feeling is just your higher self and the divine showing you that where you are right now is not where you're supposed to be. But to get to where you want to be and where you say you want to be, you must be stripped of everything you hold dear to you right now on this little paddle boat. And you have to be okay with it. Don't hold on. Don't emotionally tether yourself to old systems. Don't emotionally tether yourself to old relationships. Don't emotionally tether yourself to even family members, because a lot of the things that you're tethering yourself to is destroying your goal, your vision that you're looking to get. Now you're trying to monetize and give your skills to clients and make content. Now it's not about your emotions. This is no longer about emotional state. This is about what your inner self knows you need to do. The life that you want to live exists, and there's somewhere in a different timeline, you are already living that life. So that feeling, that vision, the deja vu that you have. Sometimes you go to big cities or a city that you really, really love, and it resonates with you different. Every footstep that you make has power. Everything that you say to somebody comes with a different energy, right? You feel good about yourself. You feel great about the information that you're getting from your emotions and your thoughts. And therefore the actions that you output create the reality around you, and you're feeling good about where you are. When you get that feeling, you must understand that there's a timeline where you are living that life. So you need to really, really focus on the infrastructures that you carry into business, carry into content, carry into the clients that you're looking to serve, because that's where your money lies. Money is there. Money is everywhere. Do not have people fucking tell you that money does not exist anymore and that the world's crumbling and the abundances that you look for are fleeting and all of these things. Don't listen to the noise. These are all marketing tactics that you must get over and understand. When that inner voice speaks to you and you know that, yes, I could have a better system, taking emotion, putting it through my infrastructure of law, and then using my masculine discipline to get the outcomes, to get to the goal or the timeline that I want, that is the only thing that you need to worry about. I promise you, that's it. Outside of this 9 to 5 that you work right now is business, content, and clients. That is it. The only thing that exists. Money, sex, food, clothes, structure, security. The Maslow's hierarchy, that's the bottom base, and most humans and most men focus on that only. But there is a higher purpose, I promise you. And the second you can realize that the only way to have an abundant life of that bottom tier is by executing on your higher forms and your higher purpose of life and creating an infrastructure that allows the weight of that bottom tier to be held on top of your higher purpose, that's the only way it's going to happen. So execute through the things that you know are true to you, stay true to that inner voice, fix your systems, remove emotions, and get into your masculine discipline of being bored and just doing the thing over and over and over. And when it's time to jump and take the next leap, analyze your system. Is it good enough to keep, or must I remove it and build a bigger one with more people and continue going on to my goal? Just do not allow the power that you have to give the world and execute on the things that you want in life to be overridden by emotions. And if you are still hung up about how to create power and how to create systems and structure, we are going to help men just like you, an objective you, where when your spine and your backbone give out, we are the backbone that keeps you. You will always have information. You will have myself speaking to you weekly. You will have a fucking community that you can bounce things off of men just like you that want to follow a structure of law and discipline, because that is who you are supposed to be. And if that did not resonate with you, my friend, you're really not my friend. But you should go argue with your mom, because maybe she can explain your bullshit.
Boy, Mr. Brown.